my name is Cecilia, and I would like to talk about the following excerpt, the so-called balcony scene by William Shakespeare. And in this presentation, I would like to start with a short summary, moving on to the characterization of Romeo and Juliet, continuing with the analytical elements, and furthermore, I would like to talk about the Renaissance and the chain of being, which ties up with the themes. So the so-called balcony scene is one of the most famous scenes in the whole trilogy of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. And the whole trilogy is about two people who fall in love, and they come from two different families, and these two families are enemies. And the couple falls in love, and they are willing to let go of everything just to be together. The balcony scene shows how much love they have for each other, and how they are willing to let go of their families just to be together. And in this scene, Romeo and Juliet is driven by a passion because they are so in love with each other that they are willing to let go of everything. One may say that Romeo is spontaneous because of the fact that he wants to escape with Juliet, and they want to change their names, which can be seen in the following quote. Deny thy father and refuse thy name, or if thou wilt not be but sworn my love, and I'll no longer be a Capulet, on page 55, line 34 to 36. And this quote tells us that Romeo and Juliet are quick to act, because they once run away with each other right after they have met each other, and they want to change their names. One may say that Juliet is driven by sense in the beginning, but in the end, Juliet is driven by passion. And she is also naive because of the fact that she believes in love for the first time right after she meets Romeo. And moreover, Romeo acts according to individual preference, in that sense that he is original and driven by passion. And in general, Romeo speaks about Juliet as something positive and great, which can be seen in the following quote on page 53, line 3, which says, Juliet is the sun. And with this quote, it can be seen that Romeo compares Juliet with the sun, and because of the fact that he is very happy with Juliet, and the sun is used as a positive metaphor to describe how great and wonderful Juliet are. And in addition to this, Shakespeare uses the terms light and dark in the balcony scene to describe Romeo's and Juliet's romance, which can be seen in this quote. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, on page 53, line 4. So first of all, one may say that Romeo compares his previous girlfriend, Rosalind, to the moon, where Romeo is in the dark. And secondly, Romeo compares Juliet to the sun, where he goes into the light from Juliet's balcony. And for that reason, one may say that he moves forward to a more mature understanding of love. But this scene also takes place at night, and this illustrates Romeo and Juliet's love to each other because of the fact that they have a mysterious relationship, and therefore it takes place at night because no one must discover their relationship. And furthermore, one may say that the Renaissance is seen in the play of Romeo and Juliet, and the Renaissance lasted from the early 16th century to the 1660, 17th century. And the word Renaissance means rebirth, and this period is characterized by being influenced by the classic art forms of ancient Greece and Rome. And the concept of individualism is an aspect of the Renaissance that is central to understanding the determination that Romeo and Juliet display in their internally romantic and then tragic relationship. One may say that Romeo and Juliet are individualistic because of the fact that they decide to be together even though they know that families are enemies and their parents do not want them to be together. And in fact, both Romeo and Juliet die very young because they were too individualistic and they ignored what other people said to them, including their families. Which can be seen in the following quote. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? On page 55, line 39 to 40. And in that case, we may see how individualistic Romeo and Juliet are, because of the fact that on the balcony they talk about running away from everything, including their families, and the message is to be careful and do not be too individualistic. Besides, the chain of being can be mentioned because of the language and how they speak, and Shakespeare is known for the use of meter in his tragedies, and through the whole story he makes use of iambic pentameter, which is a meter that goes from unstressed to stressed. And in this scene, Shakespeare makes use of heroic couplets, which can be seen on page 53, line 26, which says bright angel. And with this quote, he refers to Juliet as a bright angel, which is something good. And generally, when Shakespeare makes use of heroic couplets, it is often to indicate the position of a character on the chain of being. And the chain of being is love as an emotion, and it lets Romeo and Juliet move up to the chain of being, which in turn brings them closer to God, and their love unites them to God. Moreover, the themes of this act are love and individualism and life and death. And first of all, love can be mentioned as a theme because of the fact that Romeo and Juliet are mainly in love with each other, and they want to live together and are willing to let go of everything. And in addition to this, individualism can be found as a theme between Romeo and Juliet because they are too individualistic, as they do not listen to their families and they only listen to themselves. And secondly, one may say that the theme life and death is directed at Romeo and Juliet because they struggle between life and death, and therefore they have to choose either to be together and run a risk or not to be together. And the message is the fact that individualism can have positive consequences as well as negative consequences. As follows: the negative consequences are the death of Romeo and Juliet, but the positive consequences are the reconciliation between the Capulets and the Montagues, because after Romeo and Juliet they die, they reconcile. And to conclude, one may say that Juliet and Romeo are driven by passion, because right after they meet each other, they want to be together for the rest of their life. And also Romeo is very spontaneous because of the fact that he was once in love with another girl and then he falls in love with Juliet to a party. And the Renaissance is about individualism and how it is seen in Romeo and Juliet in the balcony scene. And Romeo and Juliet speaks in the iambic pentameter and heroic couplets, which indicates that they are higher up in the chain of being. And obviously, individualism is seen in how Romeo and Juliet freely choose to whom they want to be together, and it can both be said to be something positive and negative too. And Romeo and Juliet are willing to do everything for each other. They are willing to let go of their families and their lives just to be together, but they run a risk and they end up dying.